Oh my goodness, this nigga's still talking.
Hey. How y'all doing, man? This is Jus Na. This is Just Talking Podcast. How y'all niggas, bro? How are you? Alright. Man, I said this episode was gonna come out at 6 no matter what. It's 6:19 at this point of recording. Ain't that crazy? Y'all gonna sit there and let that nigga lie to you? Not me, of course. I'm just the podcasting now. You gotta get mad at the social media now. Yeah, that nigga's not serious at all. He just be saying shit for real. We don't even be agreeing on it half the time. He just be saying numbers. Y'all believe it. Let me stop. Nah, bro. Shit has just like I realized I really just gotta be on top of it at the get go for this. Just cause like I told one of my other friends, man, I'm not even saying like I be popular, I got plans, but I just be busy. Like shit just pops up and I'm out doing shit all day. You feel me? So it's like I gotta really get these joints in when I can, you know. You know, it's like throw a few jabs, test the distance. Test the distance, throw a few jabs. You feel me? But you know, it's kind of been like annoying just because like I'm moving. I had to move studios, move spots. You feel me? And like after moving spots, like I have this one laptop. I be doing I call it the creative top. All right. Sometimes never. I ain't never called that shit that in my life. But it's a laptop that's partially broken. And I was all like, fuck it. They got a graphics card, they got everything. I took a good CPU. I'm gonna record, do all my stuff, all these things on there. And the biggest thing about it is that the screen's kind of like unhinged, broken type shit. You feel me? Therefore, it's like it's just like I can't be moving it and going places. So it's another workstation, basically. And it's just like since the screen's already coming out of the socket, while also already being kind of fucked up. You feel me? I gotta like place it in a certain way in which the screen's not terrible. You feel me? And I was not able to get the right combination, and then I'm a little injury prone, nigga, so my legs started hurting. I just been moving a lot recently. Ain't got no time to put no ice packet on these joints, you know. Just been letting the dogs out to roam. So that shit been annoying. So I just haven't really been able to get to this. The first thing I have on my agenda, alright. Shit happened, bro. You know, shit happened. There was a whole DreamCon thing. Hey, yo, the NPC Miles Morales broke character, that joint geek. But, like, shit happened, though. Let me see. The first thing I really want to talk about is Gear 5 / One Piece. And, alright, give me a second. Oh, I want to pull up a post for this. Alright, so what I don't like about Gear 5. Honestly, it's not even like that I'm not. It's the whole community, bro. It's not even the show. It's not, well, somewhat the show. Like there's a little piece of it. That is the show. But even besides the show, just the whole thing for Gear 5 for me was basically that it was like it was just a new form. Luffy's had like it goes up to Gear 5. I don't even and even between Gear 4 there was multiple. There was like intermediary forms, I guess. I don't even know if I would call it that. Just like how you could argue Super Saiyan, the first Super Saiyan had two other forms attached to it. One of them being the Ascended Super Saiyan form. I'm just gonna nerd out for a quick second. So non-Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z fans, y'all niggas just gonna have to hear this shit. So the Ascended Super Saiyan was basic, or it was either called that. Some people call it Mastered Super Saiyan. It was basically when they were more adjusted to the pressures of Super Saiyan. This was more. The biggest example is when Goku and Gohan get out of the hyperbolic time chamber and they're Vegeta and highlights that they're able to maintain the Super Saiyan form without it taxing them. And then you have actually in that same arc Vegeta's version, which was, dang man, I'm forgetting all the names. I've been really out of touch. But the muscular Super Saiyan form, where they ended up sacrificing speed for just pure strength and power. Trunks having the most advanced version of this, of course, it being kind of dumb because it sacrificed too much speed. But so in that sense, Luffy had that as well when he had Bounce Man, Snake Man. Then he had the like Big Balloon Man. I forgot what that one was called, but he had three forms within his just Gear Fourth. There's been a weird amount of fucking conversation about Gear Fifth, and I think part of it is because of, well, number one, the popularity. I'll get into that deeper in the sense of like why that it's starting to annoy me, but I will say just the keynotes. One Piece has gotten a lot more like publicly even popular than or anime in general. I would say since Demon Slayer, anime in general started being a lot more mainstream and commercial. Other people you can argue for that being RDC World when they kind of started merging the line in between. In the sense of sports culture, general, even like meme culture and whatnot. And when they started like doing the anime house, when people take anime too far and a lot of that, I would argue they have some, if not a good amount of push into that as well. But I would say since 2018 and onwards, there's been a lot more of like mainstream side to anime than there was before. And One Piece, being the last of the big three shonen, was one of the ones that, at least at this point, is getting the most love. And that's not inherently a bad thing. I've been watching / reading One Piece since I can really remember, to be honest. Like, maybe not, I won't say I was comprehending it, but I was definitely in front of it. Just because older sibling and just anime and manga in general. My mom would just be one of those types of parents. And I feel like you could do this more back in the day than now. Or at least it was more normal. Where like your parents would just gather you, drop you guys off somewhere and leave. So my mom, to do that, to like not have us be in the house the whole time, she'd just drop us off at the library. And like obviously I'm gonna want to read picture books. I'm a kid. I'm a kid. First grade, second grade. I'm a kid. Even in kindergarten at some point. Obviously, I don't want to read picture books. But the best thing was manga. So I was reading Case Closed in second grade, dog. I had the vocabulary back then. That shit was nuts. That shit was nuts. But if y'all don't know, the Detective Conan, which very solemn, man. God damn, I can't even spell it. Solemnly talk Golly, I can't. I guess I won't find it. Solum. Fuck, like, fuck. Nah, bro. What? There's no way I can't spell it or say it. Yo, why are there so many different types of Solum? Who is Sumumly creator? What the fuck is Sumumly an app? I can't even spell the right shit, bro. This shit is nuts. Yeah, nah, I'm fucking. Very less frequently talked about is how much episodes Detective Conan has, which is about 1,092. I'm pretty sure. Alright. One Piece episode list. Damn, bro. I hate. Like, why are people separating One Piece into seasons now, bro? If you don't just tell me what episode it is, the fuck? Like, One Piece season 20. Nigga, what do you mean One Piece season 20? You mean One Piece episode 1071? Fucking weirdo. You see, and that's the other thing. Alright. There was even people coming from Netflix to watch One Piece, man. One Piece was on Netflix. It was. You know what I'm saying, man? It's very disgusting. Very disgusting. And I'll explain. Alright. Because, and it was, I would argue that it's like the newer fandom. Because I remember when I was a kid, and because I've been very like anti-social media for a good amount of my life. Even to a point now, I use them just because I understand the value of them more now. But back in the day when I was like, from middle school to high school, basically, when I could get a social media. I think sister had a Facebook when I was in elementary school, so I could have had a Facebook in elementary, but nigga wasn't really thinking about that. But I would argue middle school to high school is when I really could have had it. And within that time, besides senior year, because senior year is when I downloaded basically every social media app. Senior year to like freshman year of college. But besides the, besides that like year of me downloading apps like after graduating type shit, there was only one social media I had, and it was like, I don't even know if they still have it. Amino? Yep. The Anime Social Media Network. Amino. I downloaded that joint on my iPod 4. Because I will say, in middle school was definitely like when I was really just like, fuck it. I'm a read or watch anything. Because middle school was when I was like, and to be fair, I will say some of those was also like, I'd already seen my siblings reading it. Like, Oh My Goddess. Now look, it's not that popular here, but that was a great romance-y, rom-com-y manga. And that was probably the only rom-com manga that I finished at that point. Well, maybe to this date. Manga? I finished animes, but not the mangas. I'd have to look. I'm going to end up finishing Love is War, but that's besides the point. But yeah, so Amino was like one of the only ones, and like I was in that joint for maybe less than a month. And that's when I first was all like, anime community is kind of weird, but it's fine. But it was like it wasn't like the type of one that I would be like into. So I ended up deleting it. I was already not that big in social media anyway, so it was most likely partially some of that. I was really just there for the artworks that were there, or like some of the debates, like who would win, Gogeta or Vegito? All right, and of course, any real nigga would say Vegito. He's the perfect combination. Like, do the portras mean nothing to you guys? What? Do you think those earrings are just for show? Come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing? Alright. But it would be like stuff like that I was really there for. Fast forward now, I have social media. And you can argue the difference between social media back then and now is that before it was more of a wild, wild west type thing where it was like lawless. but there was a understanding or an idea of more camaraderie to an extent, or it's like things only got nasty at certain points. Even women who hate me don't get it. I don't know, man. My fault. Yeah, and then like, all right, past that, we'll just go past the popularity because I haven't even gotten my hater out for real. I've just been explaining myself. All right, moving past just the like the general popularity. I'll explain why that getting in the problem with this next point. All right, this is all to say, like talking about fandoms and everything. They used to be chill. I feel as though there was a point in the 2016 plus era where trolling became more like of a thing, but it was never like dumb per se. Some of it, some of the trolling was just either arguments or it was just obviously like wrong, and you didn't, and nobody really believed it. It was like everybody knew that it was a troll. Some people would still get annoyed of it, but everybody knew it was a troll. It was like in 2017-18 era. People who are on my anime list probably remember that there was a YouTuber. Well, maybe they didn't know it was a YouTuber. There was somebody that was pushing interspecies reviewers all the way to the top of my anime list. It was a YouTuber. He was trolling. And the anime hadn't even come out yet. But people who got annoyed, made their Reddit coalition, and they, in the response, they just review bombed it. So, but it had surpassed Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood for a minute, and that's one of the, and at least at that time, I don't know if it's been surpassed now, at least to memory, but at least at that time, that was like one of the insurpassable ones in terms of rating on my anime list. But I feel like nowadays fandoms are just so nasty, like not, and it's just like everything about them, like. I remember early on, it was like the My Hero fandom, early My Hero fandom days that I was peeping on Twitter, and like there were people complaining about the sky just being used again, like, and that the author didn't redraw the sky for each page individually. And I was all like, why the fuck do you care about that? What the fuck does the sky do for you, nigga? Like, what are we talking about here? I have never noticed nor cared to notice that. Like, you can notice it and then be like, oh yeah, it's funny how he did this. And then like kind of be, but like to be actually upset about it, the My Hero fandom was the worst. And I feel like it's just bleeded into other communities because like it just kept going from from there. They're also the nastiest shit fandom in terms of, not even just because like, cause it's not even the fact that they be shipping like LGBT stuff, like they be shipping Deku and Bakugo like intensely, like the issue is that is how intense, to the fact of which when somebody will say a different ship, it is grounds to ban and slander them. When has it been when has it been bad to have different ships in anime? I don't even remember. I remember back in my day, what was it called? Damn, what's that nigga's name? Back in my day, the Naruto Sakura versus Naruto Hinata ships. I remember those. Can't believe it took me so long to fucking remember Sakura's name. That shit's actually terrible. But yeah, I remember back in those days. Nobody, I don't remember people really getting like, people got into arguments or debates based on who they thought were the best fit or who they felt was waifu material. But like the fact that like, and not only that, but it's not even a manga ship. Like I'm pretty sure the Deku ship is pretty obviously Uchaka or Chako. Like what are we doing here? Didn't he literally trip over himself when he saw her the first time? Like he then nigga fell in love. Like what are you? What are you pretending to know? I don't get it. What's the joke? But I'll say that's when I first started noticing it getting nasty. And I would argue that's when I'd say that around that time is when people were flocking into the fandoms. And then after that, it's just been like fandom after fandom. And it's like I have a second. Neither of my Twitters am I big like anime heavy in the sense of like I will say my second Twitter nowadays I've been following a little bit slightly more anime heads, but in neither of my Twitters are anime heavy. Now I'm constantly getting the dumbest comparison I've ever seen, which is one Gear 5 is going to be more iconic than Super Saiyan Goku. It's going to be it's going to be better than Super Saiyan. And I'm like, all right, look. Number one, we're going to have to sit here and start respecting old graphics. Because even me, or not even just old graphics, but like old art and everything. Because I'm going to be the first one to say it. I'm not 110% in the camp of, yes, I want 14-year-old characters and I want bubbly faces and all that. And like, they need to look all cutesy. Nah, I to an extent. The 90s aesthetic where they were actually, a lot of them looked more mature. And there was like more of a focus for older people. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it at all. So, looks-wise, I'm not really that huge on. People were saying we're like really hyping up the current animation. It's more specifically since Wano on, but of recent, the animation of recently in which, for example, the animation of Zoro beating King, in which the production team or animators added each letter of Zoro's name. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, it's a cool Easter egg. But niggas are acting like that's like it matters in terms of like being graphically good looking. Like, if you want to say like the scene in which they had they showed King from his young age to grown up, I'd be like, yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. That looked nice. But like, I felt like I seen the niggas signing their Zoro signed his name when he beat King. I seen that joint more on my Instagram reels than the fucking King child to like adult final attack hit. Like, it just feels like the focus is off. For some reason, when people do bring up an issue with One Piece, like at first One Piece fans used to just take that shit, and that's the thing. I feel like niggas used to be more humble. Like, the only one that I remember that wasn't humble was that nigga Forever World. And it was like, I don't blame him because he was, when it, like, that nigga was probably getting humbled his whole life is all I'm going to say. Like, look that nigga up and see how that nigga looked. Maybe still looks to this day. But I remember, like, the Takashi 101s and all them other niggas, the Joy Boy theories. Like, dog, I remember I've been following Joy Boy theories for so long. That nigga has never spoiled a One Piece chapter for me. I don't even follow some of these niggas. I blocked that Geo nigga. For some reason, I still see that nigga shit. And that nigga be spoiling One Piece for me. And the Geo person, this is the worst. Like, I'll say this, all right? This is the thing that I really, one of the things, like, I haven't been happy with Elon's, like, changes to Twitter. Like, this X shit is kind of cringe. Like, it's kind of nasty. I don't even, like, what? You changed tweet to post, dog? I don't understand how that could really help your profit margins. It just seems like you want this to be known as yours now. It's coming off as like kind of a conceited type of thing. An ego. I'm like, dog, just let them niggas have that shit. It's fine. This, like, I don't know if this rebranding is gonna help him as much as he thinks, basically. But basically, the fact that this nigga is trying to monetize trolling that to an extent now is kind of nasty. number one, just because of how, like, the way the monetization is going, I've heard the first round of checks, people weren't in agreement with who were the first few ones to get them or how they are distributed. As there, especially there's not many guidelines of ruling. It's kind of like expressed before or long enough before for there to be even questions and answers type thing. But even in the general sense, like the Geo guy, for example, I have never seen somebody continuously tweet the same fucking thing in order to form the same replies, vitriol, fucking. Like, I know this nigga don't even believe it, but he keeps on saying it just to keep getting the fucking shit around. And it's affecting niggas. Like, I was ignoring it at first. It got annoying to a point where I blocked that nigga. Like, I put disinterested, and I didn't block him. I put do not show me his tweets. Disinterested. I will perfect my algorithm. Sometimes, all right. I don't want to see niggas talking about the same shit and ruining my timeline on the same fucking shit. No, it's not going to be more iconic. It is. The argument is more for Ultra Instinct than for fucking Super Saiyan. Like, niggas see Super Saiyan and recognize Dragon Ball Z. Like, that have never watched anime. Like what are we talking about? Niggas have seen the Super Saiyan scenes. It's not more iconic than Teen Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. All right. And I can speed through the reasons. It's like, number one, Dragon Ball as a whole thing is a very much known as a gateway anime. I would argue One Piece is very much not, solely due to the length. And what Dragon Ball has on it is that a lot of people have seen Dragon Ball Z without seeing Dragon Ball. Because you don't necessarily need to. Dragon Ball gives you like the little additional feelings, but doesn't give you anything deeper. I had essentially seen most of Dragon Ball Z before I'd seen a good part of Dragon Ball. When I was young, Dragon Ball Z came out in '89. Like, them niggas were done for a while. They just kept it. It was just such a good gateway that it was what cycled into the United States, and it was part of that wave that kind of cycled the United States audience into anime. Which, although people don't want to admit, other people in other countries do look at the United States, and what gets cycled into the United States mainstream can tend and will tend to be cycled in other places mainstreams as well. I don't know if I needed to explain that, but it just seemed like that was the best thing to do. But moving on from there, it's just like I just don't like it when niggas are like doing that. I see other people who like are getting highly annoyed by the conversation, like possible people that could like you don't and that's what I'm saying. Like the early One Piece fans, me included. How hard it took to get niggas to even want to watch One Piece, bro. Like, I remember one of my family friends / cousins type joints, right? He came to my place. I had Pirate Warriors, the first one for PlayStation 3. That was like one of the only games that I got to buy for myself. Like, I got to pick out and buy for myself. So I was running that joint up like expeditiously. I maxed out 2 characters at least, and I was getting other characters like past the level barrier. Like, I was really focused on grinding that joint out all the way, even though there wasn't like a lot to grind out. But like, I remember he came into the room and he was all like, "What are you playing?" And I was like, "Oh, One Piece." I was like, "Oh, it's a new One Piece game." He was like, "One Piece game? Is that the anime with the rubber guy?" And he watches anime. Not as that's the other thing. I will say, I can't like people be asking me how many anime I've watched. I can't count. I don't know at this point. Like, I went through a lot in like early, middle and early years to the point where I ended up circling to light novels, to now light novels that I read. Didn't even read the manga for really, but the light novels that I've read ended up becoming animes nowadays. Like Fruit of Evolution. I read that light novel. It was hilarious. Like, as a young person, seeing all these like animals turn into girls, and then that nigga having to fucking deal with all that. But besides that, it was like I don't know. I don't know if I ever thought about wanting to see it animated. I will say that. I think the fact that it got an animation is kind of weird. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. We're not even arguing that. All right. But I've seen so much at this point. So I'm like, I just don't. The fact, like, I've always been like the proponent of, it's not even just for anime, but it's like music as well, where it's like, things have to be recommended based on the other person's taste and shit like that. So I never be pushing One Piece on anybody. I'd be saying One Piece is like one of the best animes I've seen. It's probably my top five, not animes, stories and more of the manga that I've read, because the pacing is terrible. So I can't say wholeheartedly that I've even watched the anime properly, because for a while I've been watching one pace. Coochies is tweeting, I see niggas saying I'm weird because I talk about anime in my music. This is coming from niggas who are scared to talk to bitches all their life. All gotta shut the fuck up. Times, not sometimes. Oh, y'all gotta shut the fuck up all times, not sometimes. I'ma rap about, he said, the fuck I'ma rap about? Murder? And I don't, see, this is the first reply under this tweet. First of all, they only need to be told one time that something is under the seat. A the niggas talking about rap. A anime nigga will bust your ass just the same. Niggas think a One Piece nigga ain't about it. Keep doing your thing, cuzzo. And I'm like, dog, what are we talking about? Is it like, I get it. He a big One Piece guy. Like, Kushis is 100% big One Piece guy. He made a song called Usopp and everything. All right. A long barrel like the nose. Like, we get it. We get it. I don't know if that was actual rap. But I've never, like, I bet there were people who called him weird for that. Because there is less now, like I said, because it's entered mainstream. But I remember when I was reading Oh My Goddess in fucking middle school, and niggas would try and clown me. Be like, oh yeah, the book you're reading, it has girls on the front page. Yeah, and they're kind of naked. I'm like, less on that, all right? Those were goddesses, all right? None of them, well, actually, there was devils. That was a little bit skiddly clad, but I'm not going to be the one that slut slaves, all right? But I'm mostly remembering them niggas saying it off a picture of Belle Dandy. And Belle Dandy was A1 goddess for real. So I'm not hearing it. She sacrificed her power for his humanity. Yeah, but that last scene kind of go hard. That nigga was on a motorcycle. Let me stop. Y'all niggas not ready for that. Y'all niggas not ready for that conversation. But, like, even this, like, why they, I just don't understand. Like, you can say anime guy, but I don't know if, like, it just feels like niggas is too much on One Piece, bro. Too much on One Piece. And maybe, like, even not just One Piece. I remember recently, niggas were complaining about a Jujutsu Kaisen episode. Now, I'm not even caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. Niggas were complaining about a Jujutsu Kaisen episode because the view / like scene in the manga was different from the view / scene in the anime. There are anime fans who are hurt because their anime could not even follow the manga storyline wise, and y'all niggas is complaining about good animation being in a different view from a manga panel. I just like it just doesn't feel like fandom's a series. Like, it just, I don't know if it's just the young niggas that just don't be understanding shit. I don't know if it's just like young niggas in terms of even like new anime fans. Yes, y'all are young niggas, all right. Cause like y'all don't understand. Like, there's a writer's strike in Hollywood right now. If the manga niggas could get a strike going without them losing all their money and jobs and shit, and even their works to an extent, they would have been on that shit. Like, let's be honest, bro. More on the manga. Like, niggas is complaining about small bullshit. And that's my thing. All right, all this, the One Piece studios called in all these animators, niggas that worked on Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I don't understand the need for that. Like, what are they going to do? Teach you how to draw the eyes coming out of that nigga's sockets better? Like, let's be honest. When is the last time y'all niggas watched the Looney Tunes? Like, I remember that one Cartoon Network show for a little bit. But that was about it. And they weren't even doing any of the nut stuff that they were doing back then. For real, for real. Like, I just don't. People are trying to like overhype it. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be good. I don't think like I can't sit here and say the animation is gonna look bad. I've been saying this whole time. This entire time Wano's been good. But Wano's been all these scenes have been stretched out. Like I don't even be wanting to watch the anime for real. I just be watching One Piece if anything, which is like somebody the other people going down and cutting it down. Like I just want Oda to finish the manga. I want things to be fine, and that's it. Like I hope for the prosperity of One Piece as One Piece, not as a global phenomenon. I guess is what people want it to be. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when people were hating on One Piece, I remember when niggas was there. Niggas just be like, "It's fine. You don't gotta like it. I like it. It's whatever." Niggas were not going crazy on One Piece. Like I remember when it was actually the meme to say One Piece was bad. But now I guess like the people in the like people have felt like over attached to it or some shit or something where it's like they feel I don't know. Like even the One Piece live action niggas ain't being honest with themselves. Like I'm a like I want a good live action. But if they couldn't do Death Note well, where they never even did any like metaphysical deaths like that that I can think of, like heart attacks, like you can portray a heart attack pretty well on screen and shit like that. Like the hardest thing was really just the demon, and they couldn't do that well. Like there is so many other things, like even the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. I feel like Dragon Ball Evolution could have been done a lot easier than One Piece, where niggas is literally turning into different things, where Luffy gotta stretch his arm all the way. Obviously, they're not covering too far, so I don't even think they're gonna get into Logias. Thankfully, there's a portion of the Witcher community that's like divided on whether or not they felt like the Witcher show was good. Like, to an extent, I'm not saying that it's like you're ever gonna appease the fan base perfectly, especially when you're transferring things from one media to the next. But it is just like I don't know what eating good means. Like I don't know if people. I don't even think that. I don't. No, it's not that. And not eating. I don't think people understand what it means to be saturated with quantity to the point where there's going to be issues. For another example would be a few months ago. I remember seeing this tweet, and it was basically about Chopper, and it was saying Chopper has basically just become merchandise at this point, especially since the 2-year gap. And I had to be the nigga that been like, all right, what Straw Hat isn't commercial at this point? As with most animes, which one isn't? Are you gonna say that Nami and Robin having their stylistic changes wasn't made so they can still for more commercial usage? Nigga, they have directors that were focused on the boob physics for the One Piece movies. Can we be serious? Yes, they're all commercial. Why? Because they've already have their character arcs. What do we want them to do now? Even Luffy, to an extent, had his character arc. The show is going to its completion arcs. It is not trying to build on any more characters. What are we talking about? It's like niggas be saying shit, but it's like Some people, there's a large portion of people that skip Skypiea. Apparently, I didn't even know that. For a good, like, niggas ain't even real people about this shit. But like, it just ain't. It just feels like the One Piece fandom is just nasty now. And like I said, it's not even just a One Piece fandom. It's just a lot of anime fandom. And funny enough, in 2018, I kind of stopped watching anime until better part of 2020. I'm feeling like I'm about to go back into that joint. I'm about to still be on the manga time and type shit and still have like certain niche shows. But now I'm feeling just rewatch some old joints. Maybe get on top of some things like Kaiju 99. Hopefully that joint's not nasty. Kind of get watching some of the old ones that's come, but it's just nasty behavior all the way. I don't understand the like the need to be right nowadays. And it's not even just in anime, it's just in general society. Everything just got to be 110% right. All right, like I said in the last episode, all right, I'm right until I'm wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be hampering that shit. But I'm just like, if you can explain to me why I'm wrong, or we can just look it up real quick. I think an example that I use a lot is that up until freshman year of college, I thought several more or less just always meant 7. All right. Like if someone said they had several of something, I assumed that they had 7 or around 7. And then somebody had said they had several of something. They had 3, and I was like, why didn't you just say a few? Why'd you say several? Several kind of implies more, like around 7. And then them niggas we looked it up. It was just many, and that was it. Now, do I think 3 is many? That's a conversation for another day. However, I ended up learning the definition of several, and I was like, damn, I was wrong. And like I said, Elon fucking making troll tweets a fucking constant thing. I'll say this. What's been counterbalancing that nowadays is that there's been more of a consistency for the community review tweet joints and the guideline shit. And those have been like going off. Like I've seen one for a mobile game app saying that that's not like how they advertise is not how the gameplay actually is. I've seen one for one of those like mass meme internet account or Twitter accounts like Internet Hall of Fame, for example. A lot of their stuff they'll be sponsored, or they'll be getting paid by OnlyFans people or whatever to promote their page and whatnot. And basically, I caught on early on, but now people are catching on. So now it's getting put on community guidelines with an emphasis being that these pages are being paid to promote this stuff, and it is mostly minors that are following these pages, which I never actually gave like a lot of thought or credence to, but that is actually true, because then it just turns into a minor funneling socket at that point. Holy shit, niggas is counting how many left-handed dribbles Jaylen Brown. Oh my gosh, bro. This is getting nasty. Y'all niggas be grown men talking like this, and the tweet he's referencing is Elijah. To date a girl with over 5K followers is a risk in and of itself that hardly any guy wants to take. What? Damn. Apparently it was like a Flacco tweet that was being referenced. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't want to talk to any girl that has over 5K followers. I would say that it depends on definitely other things. Like, if you're arguing would I slide into a girl's DM that has over 5K and I'm not near that, nah. Like, even in terms of popularity, if I don't even got over a 1K, yeah, nah. I'm not sliding. Like, and this, I mean like dry slide. Like, we don't follow each other, we don't know each other. Nah. But I don't dry slide for most girl, like any girl, really. I think I've dry slid one time ever. Like, one time ever. Dry sliding just don't be the move for me, bro. Community note. That's what it is. Community note. Community note. I've seen it right now. This is a poorly hidden advertisement for 2 women's OnlyFans accounts. It's a scheme to promote porn, and these accounts are followed by many minors. That shit go crazy. But generally, it's just like One Piece news. Like, they even doing like the manga one shot. And they're talking about Ryuju. And I'm like, the majority of people didn't even know that was there was already a manga one shot for it. And like, I'm not mad that people didn't know, because to be fair, a majority of fans don't read data books and stuff like that anyways. Even me, the only data books I've ever read was Dragon Ball ones, way back in the day when I was like, there was a part of me that was into power scaling back then. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I be having those Vegeta debates. All right, niggas were not seeing me in those joints. Okay. But One Piece is not. But real quick, I don't think I ever finished. All right, it's not going to be most iconic because the situation with it and where it happens. I'm not saying that it's not a pivotal part in the story, but it doesn't have any grandiose feel. Like, it wasn't like somebody dying type shit, or anybody that we've had attached feelings to ended up being really impacted by this. Versus when Goku transformed, we see Krillin die. We see Piccolo get shot. We seen that nigga threatening to destroy that, go to that planet and destroy the planet. See him threaten to kill Goku's child. Like, the circumstances behind it are a lot different, and I feel as though that the way that it was even handled makes the Dragon Ball Z one a lot more iconic in the terms of the lightning and the showiness, and just like how imposing Super Saiyan was. Because it wasn't just like, oh, he transformed to Super Saiyan and then he was even with Frieza or just slightly stronger. No, Goku proceeded to run the tables with that nigga. And that was that. And that's basically it. Like, I don't think that it is wrong. Like I said, it's mostly the fan base now. That's really been killing it all for me. Because it's like, it's okay to be honest about certain things. We can say it's okay to be honest that the beginning of One Piece, East Blue, is sort of a slug, and because this is my argument for people who at this point haven't been able to get into One Piece. One argument is, and this is the newest one, is just because the way this fandom has been like acting is just very deterring. I'll say that. It's similar to how when I first seen Demon Slayer fans that were all mostly new anime fans just go and like wipe the floor on like one of those Crunchyroll lists and like basically put Demon Slayer season 1, the Snorefest season, over it. Even now, all right, I'm still hearing niggas now. I'm like, yeah, no, Demon Slayer is not that, all that, but it's we gotta settle for it because there's nothing else. Like, that's basically more what Demon Slayer is. Like, the animation, sure, but everything else, mid. Everything else, mid. All right. To the point where I've seen a lot more like people circling outside of shonen anime to find good anime. Or at least outside of conventional shonen. Which is why like things like Mob Psycho and not Mob Psycho. What's the other one that's like Mob, right? Like this right now, MASH and One Punch Man. Things like that gained popularity because there was a different sense to it, and it actually brought upon a bigger meaning to the show. I'd even argue Black Clover was definitely better than Demon Slayer. Niggas just don't want to say it. The issue with Black Clover is because Black Clover didn't have people didn't like the anime voice actor for both the sub and the dub, and it was mainly just because Asta yelled a lot. I do think that they probably could have toned it down and made him just be more of an annoying, like, Naruto type guy instead of a person who's, like, just too loud to the point where it's very hard for him to be likable, especially when you don't know too much about his character in depth to like him too much in the beginning. Like, and to the extent where, if you're gonna be honest, a majority of people liked Sasuke as a kid in Naruto a little bit better than Naruto. He just seemed cooler. Like the what you could most people could only argue that another thing is like, and this goes into the same point where I remember there was this one guy, Moist Critical, Penguin 00, whatever. That nigga said, oh yeah, he made a video talking about where he was in One Piece. He said that he still doesn't like Luffy's character, and basically all the other characters are better and whatnot. And people actually got upset because he said he didn't like Luffy's character. And I'm like, yeah, this like why are we all sitting here acting like we're all immediately drawn to Luffy's character? When we saw Zoro and Mihawk fight, and we said Zoro's that nigga. When Arlong pours off Zoro's tapings and says, "How are you still alive?" Like, nigga, why are we acting like we were not there for some of the other characters? Like, it's just some weird thing where it's an end all be all with One Piece specifically, and I feel as though that's just a reaction. Like, at first it was more I would like cope to them and be like, that's just a reaction because the way One Piece had been like slandered for so long. I remember like very specifically what like Afro Senju, he'd say it as a joke because he even said it when he started watching it, and then when he actually started reading it, I think he finally like caved in and said, yeah, One Piece is good. But he would always say One Piece is bad just because the meme, just because One Piece would be one of the things that most people recommended. Because, like I said, it's the last of the big three shonen. There's a lot of like hold on for it because it's the last one. Just like when Bleach got revitalized, there was a huge surge in that. A lot of people have been more tapped out of the newer style shows. People don't want to admit it. That's fine. But I don't know. One Piece it's just too much on One Piece, bro. Too much on One Piece. Too much. It's cool. I like it. I've always enjoyed it. But niggas is sucking his dick a little bit too much. Also, let's talk about anime like clothing and stuff real quick and like stuff. All right, real quick. Can we stop just getting a manga panel and just putting it on a shirt and saying that that's a design and that's good clothing? Because that shit looks ugly most of the time. It looks kind of cringe. Like, if you, like, for example, I be buying anime streetwear stuff. And this is what I'm saying. I've been 10 toes in this anime stuff as much as I can for as much as I could be. But I've been buying more anime streetwear stuff over these past few years. Like, I like the Roshi stuff I have. I like the this One Piece shirt that I got as a gift. It's a bit too much. Like, but I'm just not a big brand type of guy. That's why. So like a whole Luffy joint on the back, that's a little bit too much. And I also don't wear bright shirts, and it's a yellow shirt, but it's cool. I wear it. I even to an extent think of it as more of a workout joint, but that I'm not afraid to wear out half the time. I've worn it out like to place sometimes. But that's besides the point. Like can we just sit here and be like, that joint does not look cool, especially on shoes, bro? Like, the Zion Williamson anime fit was one of the nastiest things I've ever seen. And then, like, niggas were clowning anime niggas because of him. All right, this is what I'm talking about. All right, some of this fan base is just cringy. Some of these niggas is just here to make a buck, and that's what I say about a lot of these anime designs. I feel like the ones on Instagram nowadays are a bit more like honest. But even then, there's a lot of the bad ones still out there that are on Instagram. Just don't get it promoted as much because people are a little bit more selective, I feel like, when it comes to that. But when they see stuff out, they'll just willingly, like at a convention, if I see you selling shitty merch, I'm not going to buy your shitty merch. I'm sorry. I've never even been to a convention, but I'm just saying, like, we need to be more serious as communities. All right, and that's all I'd like to say. I'm gonna get another podcast out this weekend. Talk a little bit more about the JB stuff. I should be perfectly set up by next Monday. So if there's no podcast on the weekend, there's gonna be one on Monday for sure. All right. I already ordered the Amazon stuff. It's coming right here, right now. But until then, this is just talking. This is Nah, and I'm out, dog. Later. Man, real quick. Let me add this in. I forgot to talk about it. But there was a tweet that I had saved specifically because of this. And it's because it was from somebody, it was like the Totally Not Mark guy. Like his stuff, always like this content, like specifically when he was going through the anatomy of character for all the Dragon Ball Z characters. Definitely loved watching that series. But specifically, he was all like, oh, it's loading, my fault, I'm sorry. It's loading. He said, getting angry over comparisons between Gear 5 and Super Saiyan is beyond dumb. I didn't like Super Saiyan because it was more popular or recognizable than anything else. I liked it because it was great. They are so clearly different. One isn't wrong for liking either more. And the issue is not that. Nobody has ever said, I like Gear 5 better than Super Saiyan. That was never the argument. I don't know what the fuck this nigga is talking about. Like, it doesn't... Oh my gosh. And then, like, it's like this, like, it feels like there are some people, and maybe it's like, because he has a career, he's doing videos. He can't just be on the Twitter streets. So I don't think he knows. But the thing that people are talking about is that people are saying that if you don't like Gear 5 better than Super Saiyan, then you're being delusional. I will put this joint as one of the fucking pictures on my joint. It's this Geo nigga too, I bet. If I click into this, nah, it's apparently Sheree person. But these niggas is just talking too much, bro. It's not, like, I don't understand. It is not that, like, one side is being overly critical for no reason. Like, I can 100% say the Dragon Ball niggas usually, like, nowadays been staying in their lane. Dragon Ball niggas don't be bothering niggas. It has been completely one side attack, trying to provoke the other one. And I don't know, so I don't understand what this person, like, what this nigga's tweet was about. Like, the fact that he's just so, like, not understanding of that fact is crazy to me, but it's whatever. Like, I literally clicked into one of them, and he was all like, I mean, somebody replied and said, I mean, it doesn't help that certain big Twitter accounts do nothing other than making the two fan bases clash more. And then he replies, Totally Not Mark replies, you talking about me? And it's not. And everybody under there is all like, no, it's Geo. We're talking about the domestic terrorist Geo. G-E-O. Like, why do you, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, no. Why do you think niggas is talking about you, bro? We're not. We don't, like, no offense. You're cool. 99K followers on Twitter. I like you. We're not talking about your shit, dog. Move over. We're trying to aim at the nigga behind you.
That was the Just Talking Podcast.